Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year coming up, as this will be the last video that I make this year. And this is a very important one. You want to watch this thing from front to back because the alpha is insane. And my question to you is, what if you could buy a few altcoins, log off, ignore the rest of crypto Twitter, hibernate for the next 6 to 12 months, and outperform literally everybody? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. I'll be breaking down the coins that I'm the most bullish on for 2025. These aren't degen picks. These are high quality altcoin plays you can buy with size and sleep like a baby. Not financial advice, of course, but this is what I will be doing. This is what my biggest, highest conviction plays are for the most part. There's a couple more that you guys know that aren't included in this. I'll mention them briefly in the video as well. Last week was brutal for everybody. Let's just be honest. Even the highest conviction plays, the best altcoins were down at least 20% or more, and it was brutal. But these kind of flushes wipe out even the biggest diamond hands, and those who are the smartest, the ones that are watching these kind of videos, like us, we know that we buy when others are fearful and we sell when people are greedy. This is how the smartest investors in the room take advantage. And I know it's really nerve-wracking to buy crypto when they're red. And you think, oh, I made a mistake. It's over. It's done with. But, right now is some of the best time. Bitcoin's still below 100,000. Alts are starting to come back today, but we have seen nothing compared to what we're about to see in 2025. Believe me, we are still early. So guys, again, happy holidays, happy new year. Let's make a pact together that we're going to crush it in this new one. Pound it back. And if you guys are excited for the video, if you're happy for the holidays, if you're excited to be in crypto, destroy that like button. If you're new to the channel, what's up? My name is Chasse. I've been here in February will be 13 years in the space. Done extremely well for myself. I am genuinely here to try to help you guys. So without further ado, let's move on to this. I'm not sure what the price will be when you watch this, but currently, as of right now, we are sitting at around 98,583. Not bad from 92,500 the other day. Considering the fact that the other day we had a huge outflow from Bitcoin. On the 19th, $672 million outflows. The 20th, $277 million. And the 23rd of December, 226. And you see BlackRock even had one day of negative outflows. So it can show you that even the most diamond hand can get shaken out in times of fear. Now remember, this isn't BlackRock making the decisions on these ETFs. This is their customers. So when they start to get a little scared, this can show you how rapidly things can go the other direction as well. Just so you know, at the end of a bull market, these things can happen radically as well, where people get fearful. And you see that as institutions are selling as well, as red candles come, they get fearful and others buy. But we see yesterday, BlackRock did have a positive inflow day, taking advantage of buying the dip. And we will see also today what happens later, but you guys can just check that out. If you're curious and you want to continue to do your own research while I'm not making these videos for the rest of the year, you can check out farside.co.uk and then either /BTC or /ETH for Ethereum. But you can see what's interesting here though, guys, is like yesterday for Bitcoin, you had negative outflow to almost $250 million, but we had a positive inflow of ETH of $130 million. This is a sign of things to come. Let me tell you, we're going to break it down why alt season is going to be the best performer of 2025 are going to be alts, not Bitcoin, but we'll get into that in just a second. But nonetheless, you want to take profits into Bitcoin because that's going to be the most stable moving forward. My thesis is we might see a decoupling. So everyone wonders, when is the top of the cycle going to happen and what happens at that point? Are we going to have a huge pullback across the board? Well, it does seem like Bitcoin's becoming a world reserve currency, right? And if all the different nations and states and everything like that start holding it like a Fort Knox, I don't think we're going to see a huge sell down, but I do think that we might decouple Bitcoin from altcoins, and we might see a huge altcoin sell off, at the end of the 4-year cycle. And that might be a decoupling. I don't know. That's just one theory I have. I'm not sure if it's right or not, but it seems to make logical sense to me, right? And as you can see that the other day, like we just talked about, record outflows of 680 million the other day. So there's a lot of retail and individuals as well, and institutions that are getting scared, right? Most of these people that are buying into the ETFs, they're either from like pension funds. These things aren't selling, but hide it with individuals, family offices, they might be trading a little bit through BlackRock's ETFs. And as you can see, there's a huge flush, right? So sentiment says breaking. Crypto's further flush sent Bitcoin crowd sentiment down to its most negative statistical point of the year. Vocal traders are now showing severe FUD, and that's good news for contrarians who know markets move in the opposite direction of retail's expectations. We always want to kind of do the opposite generally of what the market sentiment is, right? And that's, again, the most famous saying, be greedy when others are fearful, be fearful when others are greedy. And that's how you make the most money in this space. We also have some news coming out of Mt. Gox, not huge, but Mt. Gox is still some overhang that we have to deal with, right? There was Mt. Gox moved $50 million with Bitcoin. That's not a huge deal. They still have 3.45 billion. That's a bigger deal. I still don't think that all of these 3.45 billion are going to sell once they get distributed. Right? That's just my opinion. Like if I did have Bitcoin at the time of Mt. Gox, I haven't sold it. I wouldn't sell, even if I got my Bitcoin back today, I just think, thank God I had hold it. But some people will sell, I guess, because they need money or whatever. This is the funding rates, guys. As you can see over here, let me zoom out from my head over here in the way. Funding rates were increasing, and boom, big flush. Now they're reset back to normal. We'll get into that more in just a second. I'll show you. And I wanted to include this post as well, even though I don't agree with it entirely. It says, we wanted institutions, ETFs adoption. Now there's no way we're going to be trading in a healthy fashion outside of working hours. You can forget about holiday rallies. We're more TradFi than ever before. This is the end game. Welcome 24/7, 365 markets, but not really anymore. I disagree with this. Why? This is true right now because mostly we have US ETFs buying all the volume. But what happens when, we talked about this before, the Texas Stock Exchange opens and it starts trading 24 hours a day, potentially, right? This is what I think is going to happen with Texas Stock Exchange. That's BlackRock and Citadel, right? We talked about it before. But also, what happens when the East opens up to Bitcoin institutional adoption, right? And then Europe and Russia, for example. And so you will have, because these, even though they may operate within the 9 to 5 business hours, that would still happen across the time span of the Earth. So Russia time, Eastern time, China time, for example. So I don't agree with this necessarily, but right now that seems to be the case, right? So we see volume decreasing on weekends, volume decreasing on the holidays in the United States hours for now. So again, MicroStrategy continues to buy aggressively. It's unbelievable. So they bought another 5,262 Bitcoin for 561 million at $106,000 per Bitcoin. Just crazy, right? And MicroStrategy now holds more Bitcoin than US and China governments combined, which is nuts. They own 439,000 Bitcoin. Like, as I said before, guys, I drill it like a hammer. Like, there's 40 million millionaires, there's billionaires, and like they can't even have one Bitcoin if they wanted to, let alone people like BlackRock and Michael Saylor, and probably CZ probably has 100,000. We know Dan Morehead and Pantera hold 2% of the supply. So it's like, there's such little Bitcoin to actually go around. The price has nowhere to go but exponentially up. CZ tweets over here saying that the United Arab Emirates has $40 billion in Bitcoin as well. Okay, now we can see more institutions are piling on. And it says, so Aaron over here made a nice little chart for us showing Christmas time, as it is Christmas, what happens in this chart. It says, can you see the pattern below? All right, and so as we can see that the green ones is Christmas after the halving. We are currently in a Christmas after the halving. Christmas after the halving back in 2013, boom, upward, right? Christmas after the halving, boom, upward. Christmas after the halving, boom, upward. Christmas after the halving over here, now in 2025, 2024, 2025, boom, upward, right? Pretty easy to see, easy way to trade. And Crypto Rover over here, who I don't agree with all of his posts all the time, but does show that things immediately after Christmas in these years subsequent to the halving are always up only. So just to further back up that. And as you can see, another clear picture of what we just talked about a second ago, the flush that happened. And this is just the funding rates. And as things get heated up like this and people take lots of leverage, the markets get wiped out, people get liquidated, and it resets. And this is a healthy move upward. So this is what we're seeing right now, right? We saw the flush down to 92,500, whatever. And now we're back at 98,000 and a half. So I think that we're back on our way up at the moment as we speak, to maybe having an incredible end of the year, an incredible first week of the year. We shall see. This is interesting over here. So Dan Crypto Trades says ETH tends to do well at the start of the post-halving years. So if you think like, 2016 was a halving year, 2017, ETH did great. 2020 was a halving year, 2021, ETH did great. And 2024 is a halving year. 2025, ETH will do great, as we can see this from these quarter over quarter returns. So you can see that post-halving, that these quarters were fantastic for Ethereum. Not so crazy in the halving years. Although it did well, but it does better than Bitcoin in these years. And that just goes to show you that Bitcoin really outperforms in these halving years, and Ethereum and altcoins outperform in the year after the halving. And as you can see, Dan Crypto Trades also says the total crypto market cap has gone up for nearly 5 weeks straight, just money coming into the industry. Now we had a slight little pullback. This is healthy and normal. It's now down for 1 to 2 weeks, still above the 2021 highs and nowhere close to flipping to a bearish trend. Zoom out, I can tell you that we're going to see similar corrections to the one we saw this week. It's normal, and it always happens during larger uptrends. In 2021, coins went down 50 to 80% in the summer. In 2017, we had 30 to 50% corrections every few weeks. You can't get the ups without the downs, right? And that's just par for the course. We've been talking about this all the time on this channel, right? So Crypto Skull over here says, small tokens are naturally more prone to volatility, and that's a good thing. Those red candles help shake out the moon boys, right? And so we want to see corrections on these things. We can't see charts that are up only. Eventually people take profits. Let those bigger bag holders that bought early get out of the project so that coins can get distributed to new bag holders that come in. And when they buy the bags of people who sold, that means that they're going to be, their new entry price is much higher. And so there's less unrealized profit in that coin altogether, which is healthier for it to grow. So if you believe in the project's strength, don't let a few red candles cloud your conviction. When there's a solid team and strong fundamentals, it'll reflect the charts sooner or later. As I always say, rub your hands when clueless normies give you entries. You've been here for years. Use your knowledge and experience to outplay the herd and none. So if you buy the right coins around the right time, says Dentoshi, you don't need laser sharp accuracy to profit in a bull market. Drawdowns suck, but if you truly think you bought a bottom formation of your favorite coin before expecting 10x, why are you stressing about a 30% pullback, right? And in a spot position, of course. Leverage is very dangerous. And to the big point of today's video, Black Friday.
And to you, my friend.
Grab it, Rebecca, grab it!
Kiss my fat vagina!
Give me that camera! Give me that!
Get back! Get out of my way!
Look familiar, guys?
Can Elmo smell your genitals?
Happy holidays, guys. What can I interest you in?
We'd like to get Xbox Ones, please.
Good choice.
So there you go. And as we can see, guys, over here from Delphi Digital, that when it comes down to layer ones, the best performing layer one by far, which we covered from very early on, was Sui, right? We know that we're big in the Sui ecosystem. We believe that Sui will be the chosen biggest runner like Solana was of last bull run. We think that Sui is going to be this one. So we're heavily invested in that ecosystem. Now, moving forward, guys, just so you know, like when we're talking about these altcoins, it just depends on what your risk tolerance is, right? And in this show, there's going to be the whole kind of gamut of risk tolerance, right? And so even the ones that are lower cap, I still have high conviction in, but of course, they're going to be more risky than ones that have larger market caps. So Sui is going to have the largest market cap of anything we're talking about today, sitting at currently a $13.5 billion circulating market cap and a almost $46 billion FDV. Has a long way though to catch up to other like Cardano, still a 3x, like that should no problem, I think, in my opinion. But then, you know, to get to Solana, where Solana currently is from 13 to 93, you're still looking at a 7 or 8x from there. So that seems perfectly normal. And, you know, I think that if you just were comfortable in the next 12 months, trying to do a 5 to 8x plus SWI might be a really good bet. But if you want some more leverage plays on the SWI ecosystem, we'll get into that in just a second. And as you can see, there's this Eisenhower says, I could give you 100 reasons why SWI will take over in 2025, but you just need to understand one, attention. And I'm not going to go into all this, but the biggest thing I think that's happening is Phantom and Backpack, but mostly Phantom wallet is coming extremely soon to a SWI. So basically, everyone who's trading meme coins and crap coins on Solana will now easily, with existing Phantom wallet, be able to bridge over through Phantom to SWI and easily. This is going to bring so much liquidity and attention into it. And we're so early. Literally, most people have no idea. You guys do, right? You guys do, right? And so what does that mean? So also, when you compare it to other blockchains, look at Aptos CEO resigns, down 28% this week. SolFud increases, down 15% this week. And SWI is the answer, actually up this week. So SWI just showing strength, incredible resilience and strength all around. And you guys know my number one pick when it comes down to memes over on SWI. Tardy is the easy answer for me. Why? It's just the most resilient, indestructible, unique character, right? There's nothing else like it in the entire space. Tardy is a real thing, a tardigrade, and they're indestructible. As you can see, these are all real headlines. SpaceX just launched 5,000 tardigrades into space, so astronauts can study how indestructible they are. Read the original article. You can just click these to see their rare video footage shows a tardigrade threesome that lasted 30 minutes, documents the wild sex lives of water bears. Read the original article here. Why tardigrades spilled all over the moon. They're literally the only living creature on the moon right now is tardigrades. Like, this thing just is so obvious to me. And one of the most interesting things, well, also anti-aging. So we know Brian Johnson from Blueprint is a big fan of tardigrades. They're being studied right now in science for longevity, for resilience in space, things like that. We also know that Elon Musk tweeted about tardigrades saying, talking about an even tinier one for tardigrades. So talking about making small Teslas for tardigrades, right? And so even Elon is a fan of tardigrades as well. So I think it's the best. We saw the first bit of animation from the Tardy team as well over here. You guys can go watch it at Tardy on Moon. As you guys know, in that one video I first talked about it, I bought 1.84% of the supply. I bought a lot more actually since then on the dips. But anyway, check this out.
Let me tell you about a guy, and boy was he hardy, an eight-legged critter whose friends called him Tardy. Now Tardy was almost as old as time was itself.
So this is a good, I'm going to play the whole thing for you, but it's gotten 87,500 views, 149 retweets. Like, the community is super strong over here. Super, super, super strong. Just to show you the first piece of quality animation coming out from the Tardy team, but there's been tons of amazing community generated content as well. And like Catherine XBT over here says, hey everyone, I just had an amazing strategy session with the Tardy team and they're all hyped up here. Here's what went down. Could this be the project that flips Lofi? They might just be on to something epic. The race for SWI mascot is on. Tardy is in the running. Who do you think will win? The Tardy team. They've got some of the biggest names in crypto with us. It's like, wow, how did we get so lucky? Guess who's part of the crew? The Ponky animation team. They're about to level up their visuals. Big news. Their first major animated video is coming out shortly. You guys just saw that. Don't miss it. Stay tuned because things are just getting interesting. So, and as you can see, like Tardy chilling on the moon. And what you always want to see in these meme coins, always, is these big pullbacks, right? So we saw from all-time high to, like Murad said, is you want to find meme coins that are resilient, that have survived multiple 70 to 80% pullbacks. And as you can see, it had its first almost 80% pullback. This is very, very common. And right now at 14, all-time high at a almost $44 million, sitting at a $14.6 million valuation right now, just seems like the most obvious play to me because we're so bullish on SWI, and Tardy is a max leverage bet on SWI ecosystem. The other one in SWI that, of course, I'm extremely bullish on, and I'm an advisor over here, is the number one exchange, decentralized exchange in SWI, Bluefin. And it had as you can see, it peaked out. It's a 50% discount right now. So talk about Black Friday sales. Just 10 days ago, mad FOMO. People are like, oh, but we missed out. Now you have a pullback of 50% from all-time highs, sitting at $68 million market cap. The team and investors are locked for 1 year. So this FDV really becomes irrelevant for the bull run, right? So it's sitting at $68 million for the largest exchange in what we're in the most bullish blockchain ecosystem out there. To To me, this is a no-brainer. To me, that I think there's at least a 10 to 20x at least here for probably the biggest blue chip in the sweet ecosystem, in my opinion. So you got one meme that I'm the most bullish on Tardy, and the biggest blue chip, which is Bluefin. High conviction on both of these in the ecosystem. So this is really cool that the Tardy team set aside 1% of the total supply for this Tardinator program, which essentially is like their ambassador program. That's 10 million Tardy, or $200,000 at the current value when it was back when it's $20 million market cap. 100 people will get 0.01% of the supply. That's $2,000 at a $29 million market cap. But imagine when this thing goes to $1 billion or more, how much this will be worth. And 100 people who are ambassadors for the program. This is like really cool way. I've never seen any other project like this, incentivizing the ambassadors in the community to go wild, to be a guerrilla marketing army, to go and be ambassadors and promote the project. Really, really smart. Okay, moving on. Solana. Let's also not forget Solana. Like, Solana is fantastic. And in 2024, it was like the biggest, best thing in the space. We know that. We were covering it like crazy. And this report that came out from Electric Capital showing that Solana is now actually the most active developer ecosystem. So let's not fade Solana at all. And also has a nice Black Friday Christmas sale right now as well. We'll talk about that in a second. But as you can see, outperforming Ethereum on developer activity, which is insane. Solana now rivals Ethereum across every key metric, yet Sol trades at just 33% of the valuation of ETH. Right? And Solana has a big pullback right now of 25%, not huge, but we still think that Solana is one of the safest bets in this bull market. Is it going to do a 10, 20x from here? I don't think so. 5x, likely, very, very likely. Again, like, it's probably extremely likely that this thing gets $1,000 per token in the bull run, especially as we get institutional adoption. There's likely going to be an ETF that comes for Solana. It could do a 20x, it could do a 10x from here in the next 12 months. So I'm thinking of 5 to 10x in Solana. Now, what we've been talking about forever to you guys is this ridiculous coin that I hold a pretty big bag of. I told you guys about it very, very early, extremely early. We'll talk about it in a second, but it's going to be the biggest hated rally. We talked about this before, fart coin. I know it just seems ridiculous. Everyone wants to hate it, but that's the reason why it's so crazy. And Sandra over here says, AI coins, this is Sandra from Kaito. She says, AI coins are down bad. It's still taking up 40% of the mind share, 47% of the mind share in crypto Twitter. But fart coin, of all of the AI agents, as we can see from cookie.fun, we talked about before, guys, has 22% of the mind share of all the AI agents, which is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Simple meme coin, does nothing. It does nothing. And if you can see, Fartcoin is the number one on the smart money list, above even AI16Z when it comes down to memes, which is absolutely nuts that this thing, and we brought it to you guys over here at 5 cents, 5 cents, right? And as you guys can see over here at 5 cents is when we brought it to you back here. It's now up here. 2,220% gain from when we first brought it to you guys. This thing's going to 100x for sure from where we called it. And Griffane at the other one. Why is Griffane, we're so bullish? We brought this to you guys at $8 million market cap. And this thing is essentially often referred to as like the next virtual. And virtual is sitting right now at $3.5 billion market cap. And Griffane right now is at 230 million. So it's essentially like a pump fund and AI agent infrastructure on Solana, which seems to be the market leader right now. And it's doing some of the most insane stuff as well. So Blockchain Jake over here says, going to put this out, that Griffane is $1 billion plus product. I think it's at least 3.5 to 5 billion. Once sub agents get tailored to a full marketplace, roll out from regular users past Genesis holders, tweaks the threads, mobile development, invest in what you see and love, all talking about Griffane as well. And then Griffane says, heard you like blinks. My agents are now trained to blink. So blinks essentially, guys, are on-chain tasks that can be done using crypto Twitter. So you could say, mint me a coin. You could post it called, this on X, and then it does some on-chain activity, which is just absolutely nuts to see, right? And this is all happening on Solana. And we brought this to you at an $8 million market cap. So we're talking about like a 35x from where 35x from where we first brought it to you guys. Nuts, right? Absolutely nuts. We brought it to you guys all the way back $8 million. So here, Here. So like, so from here to where it is now would be 2,900%. But to its all-time high, which is going to go back to, is 4,600%. So far, this thing has had a nice little pullback from 400 million down to 250 million. Also, a Black Friday sale, if you ask me right now. Okay, the next thing moving on is Base. So this is a really good thread. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's extremely good. I suggest that you go read it just because I don't want this video to be too long because we have some more important things to talk about. But it's very convincing. It's at DeFi_monk. This post was made on December 20th. Okay, go find it and read why. Because you guys, I want you to do your own research here. I'm not going to just hand everything to you. And I'm not going to be responsible for your portfolios. So these are just things that I'm doing. But go do your own research, read this thread, and understand why Base is going to absolutely crush in 2025 and the whole Base ecosystem. And of course, you guys know that my projects that we're working on, Paid Network and Commonwealth, we'll talk about them in a bit, are building on Base, which is going to have the most exposure, which is extremely critical for the types of products that they are. They're retail-based offerings, community offerings, so they can get into the same kind of rounds as either VCs or even better than VC rounds into the best projects of the space. The future Solanas, the future Ethereums, the future Chainlinks of the world are being offered to you on Commonwealth and Paid Network. We'll get into those in a bit. But Base is outperforming every metric on every other layer too, like leaps and bounds. Arbitrum is competing a little bit in some metrics, but like Base is blowing him, and for Base being way newer than Arbitrum is shocking, right? And as we can see, Virtual is leading a lot of the liquidity over on Base. It's making a lot of people bridge over because they want to be part of the virtual ecosystem. Remember, Virtual was actually launched on Paid Network back in 2021. Now, if you invested in it, you're up like 350x on your investment if you invested on Virtual on Paid Network. And this is what we aim to bring you guys as well. In Paid is some of the best projects in the space that can do these kinds of returns. Of course, it's not guaranteed, but our quality of due diligence, last 2021, to be honest, the bar was like down here. For this bull run, we're setting the bar way up here for due diligence on things that we can bring you. So of course, you should still do your own research and make your own decisions when looking into those. So Virtual remains the central currency that tie the AI agent economy together. Virtual is needed to ape into any AI agent token. Virtual is needed for agent creators to create LP for an AI agent. So every time a new agent is created on Virtual, you need Virtual tokens to create the agent and to add liquidity, because all Virtual's agents are paired. The trading pair is not Virtual and ETH. It's like AIXBT and Virtual, not AIXBT and ETH. So the trading pair is the Virtual token. This is why the demand is going up so much, and why this thing is like easily $10 billion plus, which will make it 1,000x investment from the time that you did it on Paid. So absolutely nuts, right? More use cases for the Virtual token over here. We're not going to go to all of them, but as you know, we're extremely bullish, sitting right now at a $3 billion FDV. Yep, $3 billion FDV. And so this is bringing a lot of attention over to the Base ecosystem. Now, another one that now we're talking about here, guys, is, it's all about being early into something and watching the narrative evolve. Now, BasedAI is interesting. Why? Because I think the team over there is incredibly brilliant and probably very autistic and driven and focused, laser focused, meaning that for my liking, we don't get enough updates on what's going on. But it doesn't mean that they're not shipping some of the most insane product in the space. So unlike a lot of projects where they just promise to do something and then promise something that they say the roadmap, here's a roadmap, and people, but then they probably either never ship or they ship years later. What Base does on the other side is basically they only are comfortable talking about things when it's extremely close to being shipped. They're not talking about like a 5 or 10 year roadmap. So I would prefer there's more updates from Base, but so far they have promised on their deliveries, or delivered on their promises, I should say. And so this post over here says, recently from Base on the 21st of December, says, Anon, you want a model to predict this in 2025? A 2016 OG meme coin, they're talking about PepeCoin, powering an L1 AI protocol that writes its own code using cellular-based agents. What category does that fit in? None. All new territory from here. So basically, they're creating a brand new category. This is the most insane. We already know that AI agents, the AI does things better than humans. They play better chess than humans. They play everything better than humans. Now what you guys, if you guys have seen from OpenAI, they just announced their 0.3 model, right? So we had OpenAI had 0.1 and 0.1 mini, and now they just showed us 0.3, which is like very close to AGI. And it does better coding than humans, better mathematics than humans, than 99% of the humans out there, right? And so, of course, wouldn't it be obvious that a blockchain that its essentially CEO or lead developer is an AI agent that learns how to code and improve itself to make it the most interesting blockchain out there? That makes a lot of sense to me. And there's no one else doing this than BasedAI, which already, it's a layer 1 protocol built for AI. For years, they've been building this thing around it, light years ahead of anyone else. Just makes the most sense to me. So this is an asymmetric bet here on something that we'll talk about the valuation in just a second. But another post that they made on the 20th says, the fastest blockchain in the world is quickly surpassed by one that constantly builds itself. Today, BasedAI is open sourcing the validated code base. In January 2025, the agent arena miner beings a proving ground for new breed of greedy agent creatures who write code that adapts and accelerates BasedAI at unprecedented pace. So in January 2025, so anywhere from, a week to 4 weeks from now, we will be seeing the agent arena launching on Based, which is where different agents will compete. Imagine like AIXPT competing with like Eliza from AI16Z or Colin or any of these other smart agents to create essentially the most relevant and important code to improve and upgrade the BasedAI blockchain. This is nuts, like absolutely insane, something that we haven't seen. Talk about new narratives being evolved. Whenever a new narrative develops, you always see like crazy growth, and then copycats come try to copy that later, but these guys are so far ahead of the game, it's not even funny, right? And as you can see, they're developing these things called creatures, which are the closest thing that we've seen to AGI, which, Rez over here says, introducing BasedAI creatures, a digital form of living AI agents. This might be the closest we've come to AGI in crypto, a fusion of cellular autonomy and LLMs. So what exactly are creatures? A self-organizing colony that combines cellular autonomy, quantum coherent. This is just like mumbo jumbo, right? But basically, what is cellular autonomy? It's a mathematical framework for modeling complex systems and often used to simulate lifelike behaviors. Think of them as grids of cells where each cell follows simple rules to change stats. These rules depend on neighboring cells. Over time, patterns emerge from their interactions and cells evolve into more complex organisms. Like what they're doing is just absolutely nuts over there at BasedAI. And they claim that this is like nothing we've seen before in crypto. Creatures stay alive, maintaining a persistent state, continuously learn and evolve strategies dynamically, adapting to challenges, operate autonomously without resetting after tasks like neurons in a brain. They've even been recognized by OpenAI and Claude as potential AGI candidates. So right now, you're just looking at something that like, because they lack a proper marketing team, it's just a team mostly of cracked devs, you don't see that this thing should be valued like based on if it was like any other crypto project where they had a crazy marketing team, this thing would be already at like $2 billion because they've shipped more than most other vaporware products. But because of because people just are impatient, you're sitting at $162 million right now. Now, I encourage you guys right now, there was a recent podcast on Bankless with Dan Moorhead from Pantera. I suggest that you go watch it. Why? Because it talks about Dan's early vision of buying 2% of the Bitcoin supply when it was like $67. That time it was between 2013 and 2015. So it was ranged, but he himself bought 30,000 Bitcoin at $67 in 2013. And in the Bankless podcast, they ask about how to find asymmetric bets. And when you want to look 10 years ahead of things, what potential narratives might evolve, to me, this makes a lot of sense. We hear people all the time talking about AI agents or AI that runs things better than humans can. And if there's only one blockchain that's been created so far that's that could be potentially the best one, if AI does surpass humans in their ability to do things, then this is what you're looking at. And to buy it at $162 million FDV seems pretty crazy to me. I mean, the highest this thing's ever got was a $431 million FDV, but sitting right now at a nice discount at 162. Again, this thing I don't believe is going to move, especially not in the next 30 days. I don't think it's going to explode, but I do think though, if they ship on what they promised to deliver, that this thing's going to have an insanely explosive run in 2025. And as you guys probably know, it is one of my biggest bets in crypto, one of my biggest bets, right? And if you guys want some holiday entertainment with the friends and family, if you want to understand where Pepe and PepeCoin and Brett and everyone else came from, then go watch this video. It's on my channel. It's called How Pepe Started a $1 trillion Meme Coin Industry. True story. It's fantastic. It's so good. We put a lot of effort.
Start with the eyeball like this.
It all started with a meme that dominated the world. And so it was a different type of video for us, but it was really fun to do. Go check it out. And so PepeCoin is the next one that we talk about. So show me a coin that's built like OG PepeCoin from 2016. Besides unbeatable Pepe narrative, the devs have shipped and teased multi-deflationary mechanisms to drive rarity and price action. So you need to burn Pepe to get BasedAI brains. You need to feed PepeCoin to get BasedAI creatures, consume PepeCoin for Pepe Paint, consume PepeCoin for KeckBot, consume PepeCoin for KeckSpace, and plus the other feature things that the devs build. It gives real utility to a meme coin, and it's trailing behind right now, pretty crazy right now at a $261 million valuation. So you're talking about like 40x to get to where current the fake Pepe coin is right now. But really what needs to happen, so again, this is one of my bigger holdings as well, but also it's one of the bigger holdings of Wintermute as well. So if we look at Wintermute's holdings over here, you can see that if we pause it, the number one holding is Ethereum with $22 million, but the second largest holding from Wintermute is $13 million of Pepe coin, right? And if we scroll down as well, number 11, even more than WorldCoin, is BasedAI with $7 million of holdings. So you can see Wintermute, which we talked about a lot, and the significance of getting things listed, are holding huge bags of BasedAI and PepeCoin as well. And as you guys can see, the top holds, we made this little sheet for you guys. It'll be in the description below. But what we haven't talked about right now is Paid Network. Well, we talked about it a little bit, but as you can see, Alex Becker down here says, Paid is going to go on a nuclear run once IDO season starts to kick back up. Fair launch meta is going to be big, which is what Paid Network is all about, is bringing the fair launches to the consumers, meaning that on our LCO model, that you're getting in cheaper than all the VCs, which is fantastic, right? Absolutely fantastic. And this is even higher right now. Total crypto market cap of project launch is at like $4.8 billion. This was made from December 4th. So now it's like crazy. Definitely ranked one of the top launch pads in the world. And the lineup of AAA projects being launched on Paid. And what I want for Paid to become is essentially an investment platform where you look to invest in the future chain links, future virtuals, Ethereums, Cardanos, XRPs of the world, where the best, newest protocols that are defining industries are offered to the public at really good prices. Things that come to mind right now that I think are going to be huge is things like Koi, which is going to be like maybe the DePIN of the DePIN layer one of the world, and things like Ometa, which is going to be the open metaverse for gaming and interoperability in games of the world being offered on Paid Network right now. This is absolutely game changing and something that like no one in the world has ever seen. And it's sitting right now at 7 cents. Remember, this thing all-time high, guys, was $6.04. So 90x or something to go to all-time highs. Now, I can't make any price speculations. I'm just giving you facts. That's just facts, right? And I can't tell you because it's my own token. It is community ran, but there's a bunch of really, really cool updates coming as well over the next 30 days on Paid. Also being built on the base blockchain. So where do you think people are going to go when they want to look to invest into new projects? They're going to look at either Paid or they're going to Commonwealth. Now, Commonwealth is a project that was part of the founding vision of, which this is the decentralized VC, essentially allowing you guys to invest into the same rounds as VCs, all on chain, decentralized crowdfunding. Welcome to All Street. All Street is our version of the 99% with 99% hang out. This I define as a user-facing app for retail who are new to crypto or experience, but you want to be in a managed fund where you don't want to have to think about where do I buy in the market, because think about it. Think about this. A majority of people that are going to come into the space are going to want to have access or have exposure to crypto, but not have to manage it themselves. So managing it yourselves is terrifying. Most people don't know what coins to buy. They go up, they go down. It's scary. But if you believe that VCs will make money, and we know that they do, that good ones do, and we know that the council that are the oracles, look at these investments that they've made. Absolutely insane, right? Like Polygon, Polkadot, CoinList, Magic Eden, Sandbox, Arweave, Layer Zero, the best projects, Cosmos, Kraken, Analog, like Chainlink. So everyone, Gunzilla, for example, Coinbase, the best projects, Misted Labs even, like this is nuts. So these are the VCs that sit as oracles that are bringing deal flow to Commonwealth. And you don't think that Commonwealth, it's sitting here at a $9 million market cap right now, $23 million FDV there's no other project in the space. There's none that is doing this. This is the only one fully on-chain decentralized VC. Absolutely mind-blowing, guys. And that's going to wrap it up for the rest of this year. I really appreciate you guys very, very much. And, take time over the holidays to enjoy time with your family. My family's sitting back here right behind these doors. I'm going to go say hi to them and celebrate with them. I want to wish you guys all a fantastic new year, a fantastic holidays. I appreciate you guys all very, 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 very much. And let's have a phenomenal, mind-blowing 2025. Let's all crush it together, build a strong community. If you guys aren't in the VVIP group, that's going to transition to a new group at the end of the day too. So that's where all the alpha is being first disclosed. The description or the instructions are in the description below. But anyway, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful new year. And I'll catch you guys in 2025, probably somewhere around the 2nd, 3rd, 4th of January is when we'll make the first video. From now to then, I'll be chilling and enjoying. So take care, guys.